Professor Schäffer, an agricultural scientist from the University of Kassel and expert on bioenergy, is trying to optimize the growing methods ecologically.
If biomass plays a crucial role in future agriculture, and I assume that 30% of our agricultural land will be used for generating energy, we want to make sure that this will not result in monocultures, but the opposite. Growing biomass should enhance ecology in agriculture.
Biomasse zur energetischen Nutzung eine Chance bietet, die Ökologie in der Landwirtschaft weiter voranzubringen.
Ecology and economy. What is stored here is practically money. In order to get the cash flow finally going, the power plant on Körber Harryhausen's premises will be started. The energy farmer will have to feed 7 tons a day into the plant. The professor doesn't want to miss the first feeding. Not one bit of the valuable silage is spilt. Struggling for a maximum yield has united the interests of the farmer and the scientist. Exact portions are transported into the fermenting machine by the conveyor belt. Is this a trip into the unknown?
Well, you never know if it will turn out all right, but I assume that this mix of various plants, which you've just seen, will ferment quite well in the biogas plant. But we shouldn't change the substrate all the time. When you fill a silo, you build layers in a way that will provide the right mixture for the biogas plant. The unusual thing about this system is that we don't use manure, but run the whole plant only with silage.
But this only works if you exclude oxygen from the 700 cubic meter fermenting devices. This only works in an oxygen-free environment. Fermenting the biomass, so-called anaerobic bacteria will produce biogas, just like in nature, for example in moors or at the bottom of lakes where there is no oxygen. This natural process is controlled by the gasifier. 3 groups of bacteria are involved in breaking down the plant structure. Fermenting bacteria break down the cell structures of the plants into acids, alcohols and sugar. That is what acid-producing bacteria feed on. They transform the substances into acetic acid, carbon dioxide and hydrogen, just what methane bacteria need. What is left in the end is decomposed biomass and biogas, a very precious byproduct. It consists of 2/3 methane gas and 1/3 carbon dioxide. As soon as the bacteria are warmed up and fed, the production of biogas begins. The gas automatically flows from the fermenting device into a second digester, where it is gathered in a storage roof. Day 1 after feeding, an exciting day in the life of the energy farming pioneer. If everything runs smoothly, the inner cover of the double membrane storage roof will be lifted up by the gas pressure. You can rely on the bacteria. A storage roof like this can contain up to 250 cubic meters of gas. That's about as much energy as you have in 150 liters of fuel oil or in 3 car tanks. After 5 days, the storage will already be full for the first time. At this point, the gas will flow underground into the second heart of the plant, the power plant. Here, the gas is burnt and transformed into heat and electricity. Keeping a diary will, from now on, be one of the farmer's most important tasks. Every day, he'll check the gas and electricity meter to see how much gas and electricity the plant is producing. A month from now, the gas production will be so high that the motor will be running continuously, with a capacity of 110 kilowatts. Careful control of the process is the key to commercial success. The purpose is to optimize the work of the bacteria in such a way that the balance of feeding and continued gas production is achieved. Various measuring tools help to control the process. An analysis of the residue gives information as to acid content and the percentage of dry mass in the digester. These are important parameters which the energy farmer can regulate, but that is something which requires experience and training. The engineer explains. In a laboratory, chemists analyze the sludge. The sulfur content of the gas can be checked directly at the plant. That happens once a week because too much sulfur is bad for the motor. Whenever the sulfur content exceeds a certain limit, air is blown into the storage roof. The air contains certain bacteria which can break down sulfur. This energy farmer learns quickly. The figures are good. That is especially obvious when checking the methane content of the biogas on the roof. Almost 70%. That is exceptionally good. The bacteria in the digester feed on the energy which is stored in the chemical compound of the biomass. As a result, carbon dioxide is emitted to the atmosphere, but only as much as the plant has previously absorbed from it.
It isn't that simple, but of course it's also a lot of fun dealing with things like this. I would never have thought that I could run such a plant so efficiently.
Eine solche Anlage zu führen und jemals so Energie heraus.
One of the essential factors is the feeding. When I remember now what I was told, how much one needs to feed into the plant, well, we soon realize that things don't always work the way you expect. We nearly overfed the plant. In a way, this is like a high-performance cow that needs to be kept and fed accordingly. When we overeat, we get heartburn and a stomachache, and we can certainly forget about having energy. Well, this plant works in a similar way. I'm satisfied. The results are good, and knowing that we are really doing a lot for our environment makes one proud. Being a pioneer in this field is great fun.